Welcome yogis, it's Beth here from Be Still Yoga. This video will be a short 15-minute gentle yoga practice that you can take many times throughout your day or take it early in the morning right when you arise to start moving and awakening the body. So when you're ready to join me, go ahead and grab your mat, find a blanket or a pillow to maybe sit up onto. Starting to find your easy seat, settling into your practice. Allowing the eyes to soften or gently close. Bringing the hands on top of the thighs. Think about growing tall on spine, stacking vertebrae on vertebrae. Now as you settle in here, let's take an inhale, lifting those shoulders up towards those ears and then rolling them towards the back body. Taking a few more shoulder rolls like this, just feeling how this feels inside the body, being very gentle, as you lift and then release back. One more time. And as those shoulders roll back and away, feel your chest sit a bit prouder. And those sit bones root a little bit further into the earth. Starting to pay attention to the breath. Noticing the length of the breath. Could you lengthen that breath by one more count? Breathing in to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel that slight pause at the top and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing at the bottom. Now take this next breath in at 5. Pause at the top and release for a count of 5. Slow pause and inhale for 5. And exhale for 5. Taking 3 more rounds like that, layering on your Ujjayi breath, yogis. As you inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently close the lips, breathing out through the nose as if you're fogging up a mirror. Feeling a wave-like sound into the back of the throat. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. As you soften the breath, letting it be what it wants to be, draw your hands into the heart space, bringing palms together. Allowing the gaze to drop towards those fingertips, setting an intention for your practice. As you're ready, let's begin moving. As we inhale, lift our hands overhead, and exhale, palms through heart center. Inhale, lift up, and exhale. Next time we inhale, we lift up. We'll twist the left hand towards that right knee, gazing over the right shoulder. Lengthening that spine as we grow nice and tall. Inhale, lift up, hands overhead. And twisting the opposite direction, right hand to left knee. Sitting up nice and tall. On the in-breath, we lengthen the spine. And exhale, we twist. Next inhale, hands float overhead. Palms through heart center. Eventually those palms will find the knees. We'll begin our seated cat and cow. As you inhale, gaze forward, reaching the chest towards the front of the room, and then exhaling, round in that spine. Thinking lengthen as you inhale and exhale. Continuing with your pace and your breath, my yogis. So maybe that's faster or slower than my cues. Your body is your best teacher, so let it be smooth and gentle and what your body desires, not although what I may cue for you. Taking a few more rounds here into your cats and cows. And then finding neutral. Think about wiggling those shoulders and hips, just loosening everything out, and then pausing in stillness. Noticing what you feel. Maybe you feel a bit more awakened already. Maybe you feel a bit more opened into the heart space. Let's come onto our hands and knees. You may bring that blanket underneath of those knees as needed. As we find our tabletop pose, think about widening out the fingers, making lots of space between each finger, and then the hips on tops of those knees. Toes tucked under. As we inhale, we gaze forward as we drop the belly, finding that cow pose. And as we exhale, we're going to curl toes under as we hover those knees off of the earth. Inhale, cow, dropping the belly, gazing forward. And exhale, press into those toes, push into the hands, hover those knees. Let's take this a few more rounds. We're starting to feel that core firing up inside as you push the earth away, finding that hovering table. Now the next time you find that hovering table, let's go ahead and hold here, yogis. Let's find that hovering table. Think about the rib cages drawing in towards each other. We knit through the center of that spine. One more breath in, and then release the hips nice and wide, big toes to touch, or knees nice and wide, big toes to touch. Child's pose. Now in our child's pose, let's go ahead and walk those hands over to the right side of the body, letting that head drop towards the earth. Take an inhale, we lift the hands, walking over to the left side of the mat, letting that forehead drop down, and exhale. As we inhale, we come back center, finding child's pose. On the next in-breath, yogis, let's go ahead and round forward to tabletop pose. We walk those hands back towards those knees, tucking those toes under. We'll take an inhale, a kneeling salutation as we lift hands overhead and exhale, palms through heart center. So imagine this as your mountain pose, although onto your knees. So you draw those shoulders away from those ears. We feel proud into the chest as you gaze forward, palms facing the front. Inhale, we lift up, hands float overhead. And then as you hinge and fold, you slide those hips back towards the heels as the hands meet the earth. Draw that gaze forward, cow pose. And as we exhale, we curl those toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward, tabletop pose. Exhale, walking hands back to the knees. We lift up, hands overhead, and exhale through heart. Inhale, floating palms to ceiling, hinging the hips towards the back, tabletop pose. Inhale through cow. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward, tabletop pose. Now this time, let's extend those hands out and extend those knees, finding our modified plank. Thinking about long spine here, in breath, and then slowly bend the elbows as the belly finds the earth. As we arrive onto the mat, inhale, hands towards chest line, baby cobra. And exhale, release. Pressing through hands and knees, coming back, tabletop, downward facing dog, pressing through palms and the feet. Think about drawing those thighs towards that belly. Shaking the head, yes. Shaking the head, no. One more breath, just like that. Feel the heat release. And then we roll forward, coming to tabletop, walking those hands on out. Inhalation, lengthen spine, and slowly lower exhalation to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. And release. This time back to downward facing dog. Now, as you start to shift forward, find that tabletop pose. We'll bring the left foot between the hands. Option here, yogis, is to find those blocks. If you have blocks or even a stack of books at home will work as well, maybe even a water bottle. We find low lunge. So as you find those hands onto the blocks, left foot between the hands, untuck those right toes and let the hip of the right side drop towards the earth, finding low lunge. Now from here, we're going to inhale, bringing those palms to the knee and then eventually overhead. Low lunge, hands extended. Think about pinkies drawing in towards each other as that left heel plants into the earth. Now, if it feels better onto the back right knee, go ahead and tuck those toes underneath. Feel an inhalation, stacking spine on top of hips, and exhale, floating palms down to the earth. Inhale, floating palms overhead, lift up, and exhale, hinge. Using just the breath with the hands as we lift and lower. Letting those legs stay nice and strong, full breath in and out. Now the next time we come on up to an inhale, we stay here, inhalation. Allowing that right hand to come forward and that left hand to come to the small of the back. Think about reaching the right fingertips forward as you gaze over that left shoulder, and then you'll exhale, bring that right hand down towards the block or towards the earth. You may find that left shoulder continuing to draw back. Maybe the left hand lifts overhead. One more breath in. And then we plant the hands, releasing the blocks to the side of the mat. We take an inhalation as you sweep the left foot behind you. As you exhale, press the palms in, downward facing dog. Shifting forward, tabletop pose. We bring right foot other side. As that right foot comes between the hands, we find those blocks again as needed. Pressing those hands into that block. Find that left hip softness towards the earth. When you're ready, we bring our hands up to that right knee and eventually all the way overhead. Option to tuck those toes underneath of that left side if that feels better. Inhalation, growing nice and tall, starting to feel softness in that left front hip. Inhale as those fingertips draw towards the ceiling, and then exhale, floating palms down towards the right foot. Inhale, lifting on up, using that core strength as well, and then exhale, releasing, connecting mind, body, feeling as if that is one. That connection will begin to soothe and release tension into our body, as well as tap into that parasympathetic nervous system with that breath. Inhale and exhale. The next time we inhale, we come on up and we stay here, friends. Think about shoulders reaching overhead. Now you're going to bring your right hand to your right low back and then begin twisting that left hand towards the front of the room. As that left hand twists, you begin to reach forward, and then exhale, left hand will come down to a block, to the mat, onto the earth. That right shoulder draws back and away. Maybe you add that right hand extended towards the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe, friends. Inhale through the nose and exhale. We bring that right hand down towards the earth. We release those blocks to the side, and then pressing that right leg back. This time, go ahead and shift those hands forward. We find modified plank. Slowly bending the elbows, we find the belly all the way into the mat. As we inhale, we draw shoulders down and away as we lift that heart forward. And exhale, release. Now keeping the hands down here by the sides of the body, we'll release the palms down onto the mat, letting the gaze come directly towards the earth. Finding our locus, we take an inhalation and zip up through the legs, palms facing the mat. And exhale, let everything sink. Now on the next inhale, begin to lift up those legs and lift up those arms and extend through those fingertips. Full breath in, finding the belly and the hips pressing into the earth. Inhalation and exhalation. One more breath in. Think about shoulder blades squeezing together, and then release. Bringing the left cheek to the mat. Let everything sink in and melt. We'll take a second round of our locus. Palms come back by the side body. Zip up through the legs. Inhalation, complete breath in, and exhalation. When you're ready, we lift on up, pressing through those hips and those hands, lifting towards the back body, shoulder blades drawing together. Think about big toes zipping up through the legs. Inhale, lifting back body, thighs and knees come off of the earth, and exhale. Stay one more breath in, and as you exhale, right cheek towards the earth. Bringing those palms back towards the chest line, we press through hands and knees, sinking back, child's pose. On the next inhale, begin to draw those hands to tabletop and slide those feet out towards the side as you find your easy seat. Coming back to where we started. Finding the shoulders stacking on top of each other. We'll take an inhalation, lifting hands overhead, and exhale, palms through heart center. Allowing those palms to rest onto those knees. Just feeling groundedness into those sit bones, feeling those shoulders and the hips stack. As you're ready, go ahead and unwind those legs. Let those legs come out long. We'll release all the way down towards our back body. We'll take just a few stretches this morning or this evening, whenever I guess you're watching this, onto our back body for our gentle practice. Let's find that right leg, and we're going to squeeze that right knee into the chest. Let that left leg extend out nice and long. And then as you're ready, you'll cross that right ankle and right knee over towards the left side body. Think about the right shoulder drawing away from you. Maybe it finds a block or even a blanket as it lets that right arm drape out to the side. If that right shoulder doesn't draw towards the earth, maybe you find something for it to be supported. Same with that right knee. If that right knee doesn't find the earth, maybe you find a block to support that right knee as you find your twist. Go ahead and take an inhale and bring that right leg back to center. Give both knees a good squeeze at the center of the chest. Option to gently sway side to side. And then we find the opposite direction. With the right leg extended, the left leg will squeeze on in. Allowing that left knee to come nice and close towards that side body, and then it'll cross all the way over to the right side, maybe bringing that block onto that side as well. And then lengthening that left hand out. Finding a side stretch. Feeling the twist come from center. I always say this, the thoracic spine, but ensuring that we're finding that gentle twist from the right direction within the body. Allowing the eyes and the body to continue to soften, drawing back to that intention that you set early on in your practice. This intention maybe is still with you, maybe it started to float away, so bring it back in. Allow 2 more breaths, full cycles of that breath. And then let's bring that left knee back to center. Go ahead and bring both in towards the chest, giving them a little bit of a sway side to side. Maybe you even lift the shoulder blades up off of the earth. And then from here, we'll find legs up the wall, our inversion. If you like that block or even a blanket or a pillow, you'll slide those hips on up and then press that block underneath of the low back so that you feel supported. Options without the block are just to lift the legs overhead, finding the feet resting onto the ceiling. You'll feel those low back, those tops of those hips press into the block or a blanket as you start to find a release into the legs. Maybe those legs even gently separate. They start to feel lightness as they float here. Allowing all the anxieties and tensions to melt away. Slowly begin to let the feet come on down. Knowing, yogis, you can always stay here and legs up the wall a little bit longer if you so choose. When you're ready, if you have anything underneath of you, release it from underneath of you, taking gentle knee sways or any other final movements that feel good into your body. And eventually you'll find your resting Shavasana. Your arms and legs will extend out long. Feeling the belly rise, you take a full inhalation. And sigh it out. Let it all go, yogis. Drawing awareness into this present moment. Being grateful for the body that you've been given to be able to move, to be able to heal, to be able to love, and simply show up for yourself and your body. Take a few moments and rest here in Shavasana. As always, yogis, you can stay here a little longer, continuing your practice. If you're ready to come out of your practice, begin awakening the body, letting those feet come to the earth as those knees may sway side to side, and the fingers may gently open and close. Taking your time, you'll roll onto either side body, using that arm as a pillow. So you keep your eyes gently closed for one more breath in. And then pressing into the hands, we come on up, we find our seat. So you find that easy seat, start to open those eyes a little bit more as those hands draw into the heart center. As always, it's my honor and pleasure to guide you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. The light and the love and the gratitude in me honors that which is in each of you. Namaste.